Sure.
Chuck.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Michelle DeLager, and I'm founder of the Perception Training Center. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you here today as we celebrate the exciting investment in the child care workforce that Governor Shapiro has proposed as part of the 25-26 state budget. Governor Shapiro, it was an honor to be a guest in Harrisburg 3 weeks ago at the budget address, and it's truly an honor to have you here at Perception Training today. Thank you for coming, and thank you for what you are doing to support Pennsylvania's child care teachers. Before we get started, I want to acknowledge some of the elected officials. We are joined here today by Commissioner Gary Hess, Commissioner Larry Pedora, Commissioner Barron Hetherington, and Pottsville Mayor Mark Atkinson. I would like to thank the President of Schuylkill Chamber, Bob Carl, and Vice President Samantha Shavinsky for caring enough to bring our advocacy team together. Kim Bastian, Regional Ambassador of PACA, Mary Beth Doherty from Senator Argle's office, Mary Ann Devlin, Executive Director of Child Development, Steve Doster, State Director, PA Ready Nation, and Jen DeBell, Executive Director of Panacea. Finally, thank you, Meredith Driscoll, for agreeing to speak today. Meredith is a caring and loving parent of 2 preschool children here at Perception. This past year, the Perception Training Center was awarded Small Business of the Year. We celebrated 24 years of learning, 24 years of growing, and 24 years of love for this great work. I would never have imagined it would also have been the hardest year to date. We started the school year with the loss of 2 lead teachers to district positions, with no applicants in the waiting. It was the first time in 24 years that I had questioned, could Perception survive this loss? And how long could we go on serving children and families with the revolving patterns of the loss of teachers? I was devastated knowing the child care we provide is an essential support for our working families. If my teachers are not at work, it's likely that our parents who rely on us won't be showing up for work either. Child care is truly the workforce behind the workforce. When our advocacy to recruit and retain child care and early learning teachers began, it was only my hope to simply shift a mindset. Education is not K-12, it's birth to 12. Time and again, I watch teachers with true passion for working with infants and toddlers and preschoolers move on to other careers because they want to be valued and respected in their role as professionals in education by our community. And they want to be compensated with higher wages and benefits that will provide for their future security. I know this all too well. When I graduated from university, I headed straight to the public middle school. There was something unspoken inside me that said, I don't want to tie shoes and blow noses. I'm a teacher, but as it turns out, childcare and early learning is real teaching. It is as real as education can get. And so I left the district I love after 10 years without a dime in savings to serve them with passion and purpose. Anyone who works in childcare knows the most important part of any successful program are the teachers. These high-quality educators foster the relationships that are integral to the growth and development of young children. It's not about what they teach. It's about who they are to the children they serve. Consistency matters, stability matters, trust matters in helping children reach their full potential in learning and in life. The business of childcare is such that we cannot afford to compensate these teaching professionals with what they're worth because we know that those costs will be passed down to our families who are already absorbing high costs. The investment that Governor Shapiro is proposing for a recruitment and retention program for our childcare teachers will work to close this revolving door. It will also help bring stability to the children entrusted in our care and work to ensure that childcare classrooms can remain open for working families that depend on them across Pennsylvania. The investment that Governor Shapiro is proposing for a recruitment and retention program for our child care teachers will work to close this revolving door. It will help bring stability to the children entrusted in our care. Sorry. Because Governor Shapiro understands the importance of quality teaching staff in early childhood, together we can shift a mindset for education K-12 to be recognized as birth to 12 and begin to offer worthy compensation and respect child care teachers for their hardworking professionals. The governor's investment is an important recognition of the transformative work that early learning professionals do every day. So for this, Governor, I thank you. Governor Shapiro, with your help, together we can change the headlines from child care in crisis to child care and early learning, the critical component to education.
Thank you, Michelle. You're awesome. Thank you. It's so wonderful being with you. And Michelle is awesome, isn't she? It is so cool to be here with Michelle at your place of passion, this wonderful place of early learning. Michelle joined me about a month or so ago when I outlined my budget proposals specifically focused on childcare. I wanted her to be the face of this all across the state, the face of caring and compassion and commitment to our kids, someone who understands the importance of early learning, someone who values the teachers that are in the classroom with our precious little ones. And for me, it was also special to have someone who's really dedicated to the Montessori way of teaching, something that Lori and I learned a lot about as we put all 4 of our children through Montessori early learning. I could tell you that I've got a very close relationship with not only Montessori early learning, but our early learning center. Way back when our first child, Sophia, who's now 23, was in her preschool setting, my wife said to me after I was coming home from Harrisburg, back Senator Argo, when we served in the House together, she said, "You better hurry up and get home. You're going to be late for the board meeting at the preschool, at the Montessori preschool." And I said, "What board meeting?" She said, "Well, I volunteered you for the board." I said, "Well, I don't want to be on the board." I showed up to that one board meeting and learned at that board meeting that the Montessori school that we loved, that was educating our child and soon to be our other 3 children, really had serious financial challenges. Within about 48 hours, we found a major benefactor and another place where we could move that school, and that school is in existence today as a result of our intervention at that board meeting. By the way, I never went to another board meeting after that. But I wanted you to know that our connection as a family to a place like this runs deep, and I have seen the power of these early learning centers all across Pennsylvania, and they make a difference in children's lives. They make a difference in family lives, giving parents, and you're going to hear in a moment from Meredith, they give parents like Meredith the ability to go about their day knowing that their kids are somewhere safe and warm and healthy and loving. And that's a gift that you can give to parents, allowing parents to be engaged, and Bob knows this well, in the local economy or in their daily business, whatever it is that they choose to do. These centers are powerful, not just for how they educate our kids, but what they do for an entire community. And so I hope it is not lost on anyone here that you have this interesting gathering here of wonderful folks like Michelle who run these early learning centers, but also the head of a chamber of commerce. And you might wonder, well, why is it that you've got a head of a chamber of commerce partnering together with an early learning center like this? In part, it's because Bob wanted an excuse to see his beautiful granddaughter. But in large measure, this Chamber of Commerce here in Schuylkill County and all across Pennsylvania, the chambers understand that facilities like this help make our economy stronger. And so, Bob, I want to thank you for being with us today. I really do. I think it's important. Folks like Bob have been integral in helping us do the work that we've done when it comes to childcare. And I know Meredith will speak about her personal feelings about being able to drop her 2 beautiful children off in a great place like this and go about her day with the peace and comfort of mind knowing her kids are safe and they're learning something really special. I'm also joined today by your representative and your senator, two gentlemen who I've worked closely with on a number of issues. And it should be lost on no one that we are of different parties. And in fact, in Harrisburg, we govern by bringing different parties together. I'm one of the only governors in the whole country with what's known as a divided legislature, a Senate led by Republicans, a House led by Democrats. So for any bills to get to my desk, it requires Democratic support and Republican support. And you know what? It's not always easy, but we think that it is the way to govern because it forces us to find common ground and common sense. We have solved a whole lot of problems together. As a result of our work together, we've solved the problem of being able to hire more police in our communities, repair more bridges than, by the way, any other state in the entire country, be able to deliver for seniors the largest targeted tax cut in 20 years. Those are just three examples of many, many, many out there where we've been able to come together and solve real problems, Democrats and Republicans alike. And here's another problem we're working on right now, childcare in Pennsylvania. This is the next step in the work that we have done together. Just last year, we all partnered in passing the largest tax cut for families trying to afford childcare in Pennsylvania. In fact, what we did was we came together and we tripled the childcare tax credit. By tripling that, it allowed families to have more money in their pockets to be able to afford wonderful places like this. In addition to that, we worked with chambers of commerce to give businesses the ability to write off investments they make in their employees' childcare expenses. So we've come at this from the side of cutting costs to allow more families to access wonderful places like Michelle's. But here's what we haven't done until right now. We haven't invested enough directly in the wonderful souls that are doing this work of educating our children, the teachers who are here at Michelle's Early Learning Center. We need to invest more in them. You heard from Michelle before how too many of them are leaving for jobs elsewhere that pay more, even though they'd rather be with these children in this setting. So what I've proposed in my budget, and I'm grateful that the representative and senator are here showing support for this concept, I have proposed investing $55 million in making sure that we can recruit and retain more workers to places like this and keep them here doing this work that they love. Under my plan, we would be able to have $1,000 bonuses or stipends, if you will, go directly to the child care workers for recruitment and retention. We actually know this model works because we came together before and did a similar thing for municipal police officers. I know a municipal police officer is quite different than a worker in a child care setting, but follow me on this. As a result of a plan that we passed together a couple years ago, we've been able to recruit 700 new municipal state police officers all across Pennsylvania. By the way, that's on top of the 800 new state troopers that we've hired. I share that as an example to show that these targeted investments in workers, it works, and it helps us solve a serious problem in childcare that's going to allow parents like Meredith to have the peace of mind knowing that their kids are in a great place. It's going to allow folks like Bob who try and make sure that we're growing an economy know that our workforce is going to be able to go to work every day because their kids are somewhere safe. It's going to help someone like Michelle be able to attract and retain the best of the best who care for our kids. This is a common sense, bipartisan approach to solving a serious challenge we face in Pennsylvania when it comes to childcare. We've got all kinds of workforce challenges in our state. And by the way, all across the country, it's not unique to Pennsylvania, but what we're doing here is solving this important problem. And so I'm really grateful for all of you being here today. I'm really grateful, again, for the senator and the rep and their commitment to this issue and to this cause. I hope you all see this is an example of government working together to get something done that will really benefit a community. And now it's my pleasure to bring up Michelle Driscoll, who's going to talk about her two cute kids who we just got the chance to visit with, and what it means to have a wonderful center like this, and what it means to know that her elected leaders are fighting to make sure that we have more investment in childcare all across Pennsylvania. And then afterwards, I'll come up and take a few more questions. Thank you very, very much. Michelle, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. My name's Meredith Driscoll. I have two little ones next door. And this is very near and dear to me. I had no idea about any of this until I had kids, and a lot of people don't. So that's why I'm really glad we're here today, because we're getting it out there for people to hear and know that these are issues that a lot of people don't. So we are small business owners as well, and I wouldn't be able to work from home if my kids didn't have somewhere to be taken care of every day. And it's not just daycare like people think for little kids. They're learning and growing and learning how to be citizens and friends, and everyone here is a family. My husband said to me today, "Oh, are you nervous?" No, I'm here every day. Everybody knows everybody's name. All the kids know their parents. Hi, Lee's mom. I know all the kids' names. I mean, everyone that was in the room was like amazed at how the kids just went up to them and talked to them. And that's what it's like here. And we're fortunate to have that. And a lot of people don't. There's 300 kids on your on the waiting list. Yeah, there's about 300 kids on the waiting list. We waited 2 years, and fortunately, we got in here. We are from Tamaqua. We drive 30 minutes every day, so I'm in the car 2 hours, because it's hard to find quality care for your kids and places for them to learn. It's amazing how much my kids have grown since they've been here. They will talk to anybody. They're so excited to come here every morning, and I couldn't imagine dropping them off somewhere that they're not. They're here more than they're with me. They learn more here than they do with me a lot of the times. So fortunately, there's somewhere where it's a community. Everybody takes care of everybody's kids. If I'm just at the door because I don't have time to run in one day, another mom's taking their coats off and putting their bags away for them. I mean, that's priceless. And we are benefits of a lot of these programs that allow us to have both the kids here, because financially it would be difficult for us to have them both in school at the same time if we didn't have a lot of these. So we've been lucky for that. But, you know, as Michelle said about teachers, last year was my son's first year, and there was a teacher that he absolutely loved, and she left this year to work for the school district, and he was really nervous about coming back. Oh, who's my new teacher going to be? What is it going to be like? Because they're so used to the routine and how things have been. And fortunately, there's another great teacher here, because we're so lucky. And now they're like, oh, we love Miss Taylor, but we love Miss Deborah too. And actually, Miss Deborah, the teacher that left, came to his birthday party this weekend. So that's the type of thing that we have going here, and I just wish that everybody could have that. And I know with all of these programs, they can. So that's my wish for everyone, that they could have that. And it's actually doing. Like, now we're finally actually doing something about it. You know, moms talk about it all the time. Go for coffee, on the phone. Where do your kids go? You know, I can't find anywhere. There's a waiting list. And that's scary. I mean, you can't go to work, or somewhere closes after a couple months, or there's not enough teachers and some of the kids can't come. What do you do? I work from home, but with the kids there, how am I going to work from home? Everybody needs something all the time, so it wouldn't happen for me. So we've been really fortunate. But, you know, Michelle's really transparent. She has meetings and sends emails and tells everybody. We all know what's going on, and we all just cross our fingers for her that it's going to work out. And luckily it has, but not everybody has had that. So I'm hoping that moving forward with all of these things, that it will get better for everyone. So I just want to thank everyone for being here today, for visiting, and it was great to have everybody here, and the kids loved it. I'm sure it's all we'll talk about on the way home today. So, you know, mostly I just thank for everyone for taking action and for being here and caring, because someday we're going to be the ones that are here listening to them say how they're going to take care of our grandkids, and so this is our future. So thank you everyone for being here today.
Thank you, Mary.
And up next is Bob Carl.
Go get him, Bob.
Governor Shapiro, we sincerely welcome you to Pottsville, Pennsylvania, and to Schuylkill County. We're very proud of this city, and we're very proud of our county. It's our sincere honor and privilege to host you today here at the Perception Early Learning Center. Our chamber, the Schuylkill Chamber of Commerce, is dedicated to serving our members, 775 businesses and nonprofit organizations representing thousands of employees while improving life and economic growth in our greater Schuylkill County region. I'm also proud to tell you that 2 times in the last 3 years, the Schuylkill Chamber of Commerce has been named the Pennsylvania Association of Chamber Professionals Chamber of the Year. I therefore am so grateful and proud of my tremendous staff who work so hard every day. Ensuring that we have a vibrant, functioning, and high-quality childcare sector is vital to the mission of the Chamber, to our businesses, and to our nonprofits. That is why approximately 2 years ago, we began an advocacy campaign after meeting with our Schuylkill County childcare providers, and then coordinated a follow-up meeting between them and our state legislative delegation of Senator Argyle and state representatives Twardzik, Barton, Watrow, and Stair. We learned a great deal about the child care crisis and received significant support from our state legislative delegation and their staffs. The child care staffing crisis has reached critical levels and is affecting employers and working families alike. Here in Schuylkill County, we have experienced a 20% reduction in the number of child care providers since 2019. In a recent parent survey, and I want to mention this because my colleague Samantha Shavinsky, our executive vice president, worked so hard, and we had tremendous parent response on this survey. And I'm going to give this to you, Governor, because I think that you'll find the comments as much as the analytics very interesting. We found valuable analytics, including the fact that 63% of those parents reported being placed on a waiting list for childcare. These waiting lists range from months to up to 3 years. This is not just an inconvenience for working parents. This is a major economic issue that affects every business, nonprofit, every community, and many families throughout Pennsylvania. Put simply, when parents can't find childcare, they cannot go to work, and our economy suffers. That is why we and others referred to childcare teachers and support staff as the workforce behind the workforce. But as importantly, we fortunately have had the personal opportunity to see firsthand what these wonderful childcare teachers can do, and as you did today, for what they do for our children, infant through pre-K. As my executive vice president, Samantha Shavinsky's daughter, was a proud graduate of this program. Sloan graduated from here just a number of years ago. And as you found out today, my granddaughter is currently here, Kennedy, experiencing this great program. It's a tremendous Montessori child care facility under the leadership of a wonderful leader, a wonderful woman, U.S. Army proud, Michelle DeLago, now in her 25th year of child care education. As you have stated, Governor, you personally have stated, there are 3,000 child care teacher openings in Pennsylvania, and that correlates directly to approximately 25,000 child care placements not being filled. It also means that too many child care teachers and support staff sadly eventually abandon the passion they have for their desired child care profession due to personal economic struggle with wages and benefits. That is why we were thrilled, absolutely thrilled, Governor, when we learned of your state budget appropriation commitment of $55 million to support teacher recruitment and retention. Governor, we thank you for being so kind and understanding so much what we need to do in leadership and commitment to the child care industry. We believe in a very tight budget cycle, which we know that you're in. This commitment is only the beginning of even greater things to come for child care in the future. Studies show that gaps in Pennsylvania's child care system cost working families, employers, and taxpayers billions of dollars annually in lost earnings, productivity, and tax revenue. This is why the Schuylkill Chamber of Commerce has proudly led a coalition of local chambers of commerce and economic development organizations across the Commonwealth, just like ours, to have met with your administration and Secretaries Yablonsky and Monson to highlight this child care teacher shortage. In fact, 60 local chambers and economic development organizations across the Commonwealth have endorsed this teacher recruitment and retention investment for the child care sector, and that list of local leaders and their organizations continues to grow today. Governor, we're so proud that you're here, and we sincerely thank you for your attention to this critical issue, and we are committed to working with you, your administration, and our child care professionals to make sure that this is included in the final state budget. It's now my honor and privilege to introduce a great senator who was a former member of the House with you. Senator Dave Argel has been with us the entire way on this issue. He knows an awful lot about education in general and is learning more every day on child care specifically. And I also want to thank his staff, Mary Beth Doherty, who has worked with us day in and day out to open the doors of Harrisburg, and his Chief of Staff, Christine Verdier, for helping the senator as we requested assistance in our journey. It's now my pleasure to introduce Senator Dave Argel.
I've spent a good bit of time down the road at Penn State Schuylkill as an instructor, and one of my favorite night classes, I brought in for my public policy class, local editor. And one of my students, I love the Q&A, and one of my students asked that editor, how come you never put any good news on the front page? And the editor said, well, that's not our business model. But we've got good news here today. And so I hope the editors pay attention, Governor. This is truly a good news story. Think about it. Business and labor, employers and employees, and the governor's already said it, Republicans and Democrats working together, we all support the governor's investment in our child care centers. It's a win for everyone. I mean, think about it. It's a win for the kids. We've obviously seen how much they're getting out of programs like this. And when you have something good, you want to invest in it. You don't want to see it go away. It's certainly a win for working families. We've heard that. The fact that you come all the way from Tamaqua every day tells me that you are a believer. It's a win for the employers, as Bob has indicated, because we hear it every time. The employers can't do it if their employees can't reliably show up for work every day. And it's certainly a win for the preschool teachers to encourage them, as Michelle has indicated, to remain in their important professions. That's good for the entire community. That's good news. Governor, I found this yesterday when I was in my Harrisburg office. I keep way too much stuff. This is my grandfather's teaching contract from Middleport in 1930, where they paid him $990 a year. Now, we do a little better than that for teachers today, but we still do not support our preschool teachers as much as we should. And so, Governor, I want to thank you for coming. This certainly has my support. And to borrow your favorite quote, let's get this stuff done.
Let's get it done.
All right.
Thank you.
Representative Twardzik, my partner in Pottsville.
Thank you,
Mr.
Senator.
T.
Governor, great to
Rep.
see you.
Thanks, you too.
So great to see everyone here. It is just a wonderful time to have everyone visiting the hard-working 123rd District. This legislative district is where coal fueled the Industrial Revolution, 2 world wars. And I am honored to represent my neighbors who helped us, our family business, become successful. And our workforce here is second to none. I've been involved in economic development for 34 years with SEDCO, and we have been able to bring new jobs and businesses, and it's worked very well. But again, the child part of it is a very important piece, and it's really great that we're taking the time now to work for that and solve those problems. The access to affordable and high-quality child care is essential, not just for the well-being of the children, but for the stability of working families and our economy. Parents need reliable childcare to pursue their careers, and we need people to care for our youngest Pennsylvanians. I'm happy to hear Governor Shapiro recognize my friend Michelle during this budget address earlier this month, and it's great to have him here to see firsthand the great work that's done here. She has dedicated herself to serving the families here in Schuylkill County. Her leadership and commitment to providing quality care makes a real difference in our community, and I can't think of a better person to highlight right now how important this investment is. Supporting our child care workforce is key to ensuring families have the options they need. When providers can attract and retain great employees, more child care spots become available, easing the burden for parents and strengthening our communities. It's a win for families, for business, and for Pennsylvania's future. As we continue to address these challenges, investments like the ones we're discussing today send a clear signal that Pennsylvania is committed to creating an environment where families can thrive. We need to do all we can to make childcare more affordable and accessible. I look forward to working with all of you to support that goal. And when you're recruiting people, it shows that you will stop at nothing because you brought your daughter back from Charleston. So welcome back, and thank you very much. And now the governor is available for some questions.
Thanks, Rep. Appreciate it. You're a student of history, Senator, and so I know we both appreciated the representative mentioning the important role that coal from this region played in defending our freedom here in this country and around the world. What the representative forgot to mention is that the official food of this district is the pierogi. And I think it's important to put that on the record, if that's okay.
They go together.
They do. Coal and pierogies. And beer, if, we can say here. There you go. With that, we'll take a few questions from the media if you have any. All right. Yep.
Could you talk a little bit about how big a loss of child care providers there's been in Pennsylvania and what you think this proposal would do to help reduce that?
We have a shortage of about 3,000 child care workers all across Pennsylvania, not just here in Schuylkill County. If we could fill those 3,000 vacancies, we could provide up to 25,000 more slots for students, for young children all across our Commonwealth. That's 25,000 kids getting a great education, having a safe place to go, and, as you heard from Meredith, giving parents like Meredith, representing those 25,000 kids, the opportunity to go back to work, the opportunity to work from home, the opportunity just to be able to go about their daily lives, not worrying about their kids' welfare and their kids being taken care of. So our aim in this budget is to be able to fill those 3,000 holes. Working together, I believe that we can make a big dent in that in this budget, and as a result, create opportunity for up to 25,000 more children in Pennsylvania have access to child care.
How much are you hoping to give to, like, each center, and how would you guys go about that in this budget? How would you allocate that money?
I've asked the legislature to appropriate $55 million so that we can spread that out across the Commonwealth and provide $1,000 payments to help recruit and retain workers. Retain those so we don't lose them here at Michelle's place or anywhere else, and give Michelle the resources she needs to go and attract new folks to work in places like this. So it's a $55 million price tag, but I think as you heard from Bob and others, we think it's money well spent, and it's specifically targeted at a need that everyone has highlighted in communities all across Pennsylvania, rural, urban, and suburban.
Governor, this program sounds a lot like the program you proposed last year for emergency workers, teachers, nurses. Help us understand how that program inspired this one.
We have seen that when you provide direct stipends, direct payments, direct support for areas where we know we need to attract, recruit, retain more workers that help all of us in Pennsylvania, we've seen that work. I cited this briefly before. We know we need more municipal police officers all across Pennsylvania. Departments have a hard time, retaining personnel who want to leave for another department that might pay more, or to be able to bring folks in who just graduated the academy and put them to work. And so we're able to provide to municipal police departments direct funding that allowed them to do recruitment and retention. And we're up to 700 more municipal police officers across our Commonwealth as a result of that. We know that an investment like that of state resources helps everyone, creates safer communities. And we know that an investment like this one helps everyone by creating wonderful, stable, loving learning environments for our kids, which strengthens our economy and strengthens families. So this is a model that's worked. It's brought Republicans and Democrats together. And I'm a big data guy. I want to show that when we invest state tax dollars, we get a benefit for that. We get a return on investment. We've seen this work before. Now we want to apply the same common sense logic to childcare.
Good. Is it my time now?
Yep.
All right. What are the shortages locally, Bob? That might be a question for you, of teachers, the wait list for students at preschools, and what does the Governor, your proposal, do to address the lack of businesses like perception training?
Do you want to address that locally?
I don't have a total number for you, but we know that every county, not only Schuylkill County, but every county has seen a similar situation to when I talked about since 2019, 20% have closed. So it may be a little bit less than that, maybe a little bit more than that. And clearly that impacts. You can hear when you hear a parent say, I've been on the waiting list 2-3 years. In the survey that we did, we have a lot of analytics, and what you're going to see is parents saying, I cannot go to work, I cannot stay in my job, I put my job at jeopardy because even if I'm in a child care situation, my children get sick, I don't have a backup plan. We need more child care slots. We need to support our teachers that are doing the great job they're doing day in and day out. And this is a problem not only in Schuylkill County, it's a problem across the Commonwealth. Here in Schuylkill County, we are not blessed, as some areas are, where major corporations have subsidized child care facilities and they have a bigger child care facility. Almost every child care facility in Schuylkill County are very small, independent operators who, like Michelle, are working to keep teachers in the classroom and keep as many classrooms open as they can daily. They're under licensing requirements, so having the right teacher complement definitely defines how many students they can put into the program.
And I should also, just the second part of your question, point out that we all came together in the last couple budgets to invest heavily in making childcare more affordable all across Pennsylvania, so that Michelle has more folks who can afford to come here. Now, she's got a waiting list. There are other places maybe that don't, but we put more money in people's pockets by tripling the childcare tax credit and incentivizing businesses to invest in helping defray some childcare costs for families. Now we've got to take the next step to deal with making sure we've got enough qualified professionals to do this work. So it all fits together to make it more affordable and accessible all across Pennsylvania.
Time for one more, guys.
Anything else? Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Thanks. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it.